You know, Freddy, I swear I've read this book 100 times. At least it seems like it. It's pretty quiet. It's just me and you. Come on, tell me a joke. That's a pretty good one there, buddy. Say, you're looking quite Kardashian in that sweater you got there. It was you get from a friend. Whose noise? What do you want? Who do you think you are? Knocking on my door. I could be some wild animal craving and rage for all of Whoville.
Well, I'm sure rage too. My name is Jenny Penny Who, and I'm here to ask why you had to take our Christmas. Why you had to steal it.
You stole my pet fish and my smart watch. You're so mean because you did that.
You stole my apple and my banana.
Just wait there, young lady. I will admit, I have done some terrible things. Horrible, wonderful, awful things. But this is 2020. There are some strange things at work out there. And I can prove you that I didn't do it. I have a friend of mine. He wrote some books. His name was Dr. Seuss. He kept amazingly accurate journals. He recorded everything. It's kind of creepy, but it was great. And when I did it, it was huge, I tell you.
I just don't believe you. We can't even go out to see our friends. We had to cancel our famous Christmas tree lighting. We even had to sneak out of our own house to come see you.
Come on in. I'll bring up a friend of mine. She will bring the book on how it all happened. Oh, but first. Oh, don't worry, I'm not crazy. It's just something I have to do. I was told I have to do. Don't worry about it. Do you think it makes you go crazy if you zap yourself like every 5 minutes for like hours on end? All right, kids, you're all good. Come on in. I'll tell you my childhood story. I'm getting a little bit old. So, growing up, I did not understand Christmas at all. No, it was just so confusing, so I hid away from the world. But over the years, every day I would hear the noise coming from Whoville. And so, yeah, I admit it, I did steal Christmas. Yeah, but I didn't do it this year, I swear. I'll even call my friend Velma Who. She's the Who historian, and she will bring the book and help me prove I did not steal Christmas. Yeah, oh, sorry about that. Wrong number. Alright, let's try this again. I did that, yeah, yep. There's Velma Who. Yes, hi, this is Mr. Grinch. Yes. I'm gonna need you to come over and bring the book. Yes, that book, yeah. I have some eager minds here to learn some history about Whoville. And on Christmas, so... Alright, yes. Thank you for remembering that one, yeah. Alright, we'll be waiting for you to be here. Alright. Pretty loud. Thelma! How's it going?
Oh, 6 feet, Grinch.
Yeah.
I am Velma Who, the official Whoville historian. You mentioned that some facts are mixed up, and you requested my help in settling the truth?
Yes, this here is Jenny Penny Who.
Hello.
Denny Penny Who.
Hi, Denny.
Lenny or Betty, something like that, you know. These are the eager young minds wanting to know how I stole Christmas, and I need help to prove I did not steal Christmas this year.
All right.
Alright, find a seat, yeah.
Oh, well, thank you.
You on the ground, yeah, you sit there.
Okay. This is the chronicle of how the Grinch stole Christmas. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Whos. Staring down from his cave with a sour, Grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers, nervously drumming. I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow, he knew, all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys. And then, oh the noise, 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 noise. That's one thing he hated. The noise. Then the Whos, young and old, would sit down to feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast feast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Whos would start singing. They'd sing and they'd sing, and they'd sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas song, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how?
Yeah, it was quite a bit ago.
Then he got an idea, an awful idea.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. You're a monster, Mr. Grinch. Your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders. You've got garlic in your soul, Mr. Grinch. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole. You're a vile one, Mr. Grinch. You have termites in your smile. You have all the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile, Mr. Grinch. Given the choice between the two of you, I'd take the seasick crocodile. You're a foul one, Mr. Grinch. You're a nasty, wasty skunk. Your heart is full of unwashed socks. Your soul is full of gunk, Mr. Grinch.
Yes. I think there's some.
I know just what I'll do, the Grinch laughed in his throat. And he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and clucked. What a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around. But since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No. The Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, get up, and the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. And their windows were dark. Quiet snow filled the air. All the Whos were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square. This is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed. And he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pitch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once, for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. These stockings, he grinned, are the first things to go. Then he slithered and slunk, with a smile most unpleasant, around the whole room, and he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums. And he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags, one by one, up the chimney. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. And now, grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree, and he started to shove, when he heard a small sound, like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast, and he saw a small Who. Little Cindy Lou Who, who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, "Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot," the fake Santa Claus lied, "there's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here." And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then, the last thing he took was the log for the fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls, he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then, he did the same thing to the other Whose houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Whose mouses. It was 1/4 dawn, all the Whos still abed, all the Whos still a snooze, when he packed up his sled. Packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags, and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip top to dump it. "Pooh-pooh to the Whos," he was grinchily humming. "They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Whos down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo." That's a noise that I simply must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, the sound was merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes, then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or another, it just came the same. The Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could this be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then, the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from the store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so right, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. and he brought back the toys and the food for the feast, and he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. The end. You see, children, Mr. Grinch found his heart and his love for our wonderful community. He shared his home, his life, and everything he had with the new friends he grew to love. Once Mr. Grinch found that new fondness of caring for others, how could he take that away? He even gave it back that first time because it was just too terrible. He stole it, but saved it at the same time. Because even all of us in Whoville forgot that Christmas is a wonderful time because it is full of love for others. And this year is so special. Again, we have been reminded that Christmas is not just about gifts or things or even dinner at 5 o'clock sharp. Maybe we have to admire one another from afar and remember how special every moment we get with others is precious. We can write a letter, draw a picture, or even pick up the phone. This too shall pass, but I hope that we all remember that it's the love we share that makes moments like this special.
Wow, Mr. Grinch. I guess I misunderstood you my whole life. We were told these silly stories, but now I know they're not true. You've done so much for the Who's in Whoville. And now you're all alone. I promised to write to you. Oh, and also I'm so sorry we intruded. We weren't even supposed to leave our home.
Oh, it's all right, my dear. I am honored to have you as a guest. And Thelma Velma, who you just made this day perfect. You reminded me to look to my memories. I'm not alone. I really had a second chance at life. I really did.
Oh, the honor was mine, Mr. Grinch. And I love sharing our history of our community. I also love helping people, and I think I should help these kids get back to their parents. Come on now.
Can I come back and play with Freddy, please?
Of course, anytime you want.
Don't forget my apples.
All right, you come back and give them. All right, just bring it in, bring it in. One time only. Okay, guys.
Never get in. To wave to the camera. Say thank you.
Thank you for watching.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bring us a pretty party. Bring us a pretty party. Full of cheer.
Yeah. Get something, just really get something. Want something, really get something.
Bring them right here.
Yeah, bring it here. I can't see out these clowns.
Then just say Merry Christmas.
Merry
Wait.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Say it one more time. Go.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as ugly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black heel. greasy black heel. You're a monster, Mr. Grinch. You're a heart and empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders, you've got garlic in your soul. Brain is full of spiders, you've got garlic in your soul. Brain is full of spiders, you've got garlic in your soul, Mr. Grinch. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole. You're a vile one, Mr. Grinch. You have termites in your smile. You have all the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile, Mr. Grinch. Given the choice between the two of you, I'd take the seasick crocodile. You're a foul one, Mr. Grinch. You're a nasty, nasty skunk. Your heart is full of unwashed socks. Your soul is full of gunk, Mr. Grinch. The three words that best describe you are as follows, and I quote: stink, stank, stunk. You're a rotter, Mr. Grinch. You're the king of sinful socks. Your heart's a dead tomato splotch, you moldy purple spots, Mr. Grinch. Your soul is an appalling dump heap, overflowing with the most disgraceful assortment of deplorable rubbish imaginable, mangled up in tangled up. You nauseate me, Mr. Grinch, with a nauseous super nos. You're a crooked, jerky jockey, and you drive a crooked horse, Mr. Grinch. You're a three-decker sauerkraut and toadstool sandwich with arsenic sauce.